share the story. Feel better about what?
The session.
So there was some point, I don't remember what happened, after which I started to make like a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But then I kind of, I told myself, I gotta ignore this because otherwise I'll just keep making them, and I think I recovered from that.
Yeah.
So before that run, I felt very good.
Yeah.
And then after it, I also felt reasonably good.
That's good.
But for the duration of it, I was fighting, and then there was this shift thing that happened.
Yeah, it was basically you just got frustrated. And you weren't blipping, you weren't moving the gear lever in the right position. So try and when you have something like that happen, try and reset the brain as quick as you can. It took you a lap or two to do it, but we want to try and do it like in a corner if possible. But yeah, before that, yeah, it was very good as far as we're getting more consistently on the line and things like that. In turn
so overall, you felt that we were actually more consistent.
Yeah, overall there was some more consistency. In 2, we're still not braking consistent. And that one time, and what's weird is what happens when you blow a corner. You don't realize it, because that one time when we blew turn 2, we went past where we went normally at a brake point by probably about a half a brake marker, if not more. And then instead of getting on the brakes harder, you got on the brakes less. So then, because we could have still made the corner no problem if you would have just braked normally, like how you normally did. But for some reason, when you finally decided to get on the brakes after going past your brake zone, you got on them even less than normal, which made no sense, right? we gotta try and quickly realize we're in a situation we need to make a change, because what happens is you get into these situations where you've made a small mistake, say in turn 6 at turn in, and then you get on the gas at the same time, or maybe even more, instead of making maybe a small lift or just not getting on the throttle as much, and then we end up making a small mistake, a big mistake.
Got you.
Right? So we need to quickly do crisis management and go, okay, crap, I just blew that braking zone. What do I do? And it is good that you just go straight, because we are more efficient in our braking when we go straight like you've done. But for some reason, in that one in particular, like instead of braking, let's call it at Sergey 100%, you broke it like Sergey 70%. Like it was a big change as far as pedal pressure. Whereas I think if you just would have broke normally as far as pedal pressure, we probably would have just been able to turn in and go.
I think what might have happened in that corner is that I have started to turn in at too high a speed while still braking. I felt that the car didn't respond to steering. I returned the steering to the
Now this was like
this was
even the initial application of the brakes was less. Like when we were way in a straight line.
Gotcha.
So we need to make sure that we need to try and pick a spot on the track if you want to. I mean, I'm not a big fan of looking at some sort of spot on the track or a marker as far as braking zones, because I think it puts your eyes in the wrong way. But if that's what you need to do, then maybe it is. But try and get some sort of spot where okay, boom, that's within like 5-10 feet we're braking at the same spot, because we're going like 50 feet lap to lap that things are changing. So it's hard to slow down to the same spot at that point, right? The same mile an hour, because you have to drastically change what you're doing in the car. So that's that last session in turn 2 in particular. Really, even if it's like where the turn 5 marker would be, but let's pick some spot and go every time. Boom, boom.
By the way, is the turn 4? I'm sorry. In turn 2 is brake marker number 4
not there?
It's not there. Okay, no. Okay, because I keep looking for it, I keep not finding it, and I'm thinking, holy shit, I'm going blind.
Yeah, no, it's not there. It must have been hit this weekend or something.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So at least I'm okay. At least the fact that
3 is the first one. So maybe on that on that out lap, I'll try and look over there and see if there's something there that I can tell you, because that's about that turn 4 marker or brake marker is about where you're going to start it. Everywhere else was getting better. 3. As long as you're way over there, you have this tendency. If you start to creep in on that apex, you turn in early, right? But if you stay on that side of the track and then turn in, you're good. And you do the same thing in 4 too. I know as soon as you're going to turn in early, because you start creeping towards that apex a little bit instead of just staying there, right? We want to be pretty definitive with that turn in.
Got you. I love it.
It's like this like one. If I notice you're like 1 or 2 feet creeping in, I know we're going to turn in early, right? But if I know that we're approaching that cone and we're right there, I know that you normally will turn in late. So let's just try and make that a habit of keeping way on that side, making that arc as big as we can, and then turn in. Because when you did it, like there was a couple times in 4, you really nailed that corner. Like, we turned in late, we got a good amount of throttle, and we kept going. So that was good. And then turn 5 too, when we started cognitively going and turning in later, I know that you could feel the car was not bound up. We were not going towards the exit curve with a lot of steering, right? We were now going towards the exit curve and releasing the wheel, and you got on the gas just like you should, right? The car is free. I can get on gas. Turn 6, there were some good ones. Turn 6, you're kind of inconsistent with how much throttle. You're on the verge of not being timid on it, which is good. There was one lap there that I think you got frustrated or something at one of the cars, and you jumped on it pretty good. So just be careful. I mean, that's one of those turns that you get into that dip and you jump on the throttle, and then you go, oh shit, and then you lift, and that's where we end up on that inside wall. So it's better to really kind of roll in that, know that the car's free and good. As we come into the braking zone of 8, we're still doing that 2 braking zone thing. We kind of want to blend it.
Oh shoot! So right. I remember that you wanted me to be 50% on the brake before the crest.
Yeah,
I forgot that
overwhelm you, so
that you didn't want me to lift at the crest. Yeah, so I was still lifting at the crest.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up, but
we hit it with the pressure, because
we can go less pressure on that initial one.
Even less.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we need to. Even when I said brake after the crest, we were still late over the crest, a little bit, right? So. We need to. I think that the car's going to be more settled if you don't come off of it as much, and you're going to be more comfortable with what the car's doing. So let's try and pick a point. Right now, you're almost starting to brake as we're leaving the track on the left side. As we're kind of moving it towards the right.
Right.
So we're maybe braking 3/4 between track left and the crest. Let's make that half. So let's brake a little bit later, if possible. Even if we just coast to that spot, I'm okay with that at first, but let's not brake. And then let's brake there, 50% brake, and let's keep that over the crest, and then more if we need to.
Brake and keep, and then
okay. And I'm okay with you doing a little coasting there as we get comfortable with that. I know it's going to be not comfortable at first because we're going fast, but let's try and break that braking zone up a little bit so that we're not able to do that lift thing, and just kind of get more consistent. 9 is good as long as we stay out. A couple laps we were in, but for the most part, and you could feel like one time we were going in through and you turned in, we were going pretty fast, and I could feel you were about to get on the throttle. I said patient, right? And a lot of times people will get too much throttle early on in that corner, and they push wide, and now we can't get on the gas, and people will just sneak right into them in turn 10. So patient through there, hit your mark, hit that apex, and then we can start rolling on. You picked up a lot of speed through 9 and 10.
I felt that.
You rolled
yes, sir.
Speed through there a lot better.
Yes, sir. That I felt, especially 10. I think, except for the very end. I think in the very end.
Yeah, you just got a little bit of kind of flustered with 11. 11 is just it's just getting calmer, I guess. Just get the car slowed down, and get the downshift done. Maybe even get downshift done a little bit earlier, so you're not as worried about making it. But realize too that you could still probably do a 45 going through there in third. So
you're saying don't shift a second?
no,
Don't
shift a second, but realize that if it doesn't happen, just put it in third and go, right? Don't just totally blow the corner now that we're not in gear, right? So a lot of times when you get flustered, we just shut down. But let's try and minimize what's happening. If it's not going in second, quickly put it in third and just get on the throttle. We'll make it. Cool?
Thanks, sir. Thank you very much. So, Tony, I think, so let's have you decide. There is a significant chance that I'll get dizzy by the way I feel right now,
Okay.
if I ride with you.
Yeah.
So do you think, a little piece of a session with you, and then skipping the last session for me driving, or versus me driving my session that's
I
coming
think
up?
we need to have you drive your session.
Okay.
I'd rather have you go out in your session and we do that.
Okay, doc. In that case, sir, it's all yours.
Okay.
You'll go now.
Yeah, I'll go out for a few laps. I'll put down a lap and then come in.
But feel free to stay the whole session
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you like. I mean, there's absolutely no limit. One question real quick. Yeah, that's perfect. That's definitely enough for
Are
today.
we gonna have enough time to go get you fuel?
It's at exactly half right now, so
Okay.
I think there should be enough for both.
Okay.
On the other hand, it might just be because it was a little bit over half last time, right? And it lit up at the end of the
lit up
session.
on
It
me.
was like, okay, yes, so perhaps might be a good idea. Let's check the schedule.